Hi guys, this is Saif Jawad, and I am sharing this information with you as a fellow developer, but also a fellow vintage enthusiast, and specifically vintage computers. I used to work between 2000 and 2003 in a company called CMG, and they had OpenVMS operating system running on digital DEC equipment that was processing 3000 messages per second and 3000 SMS messages per second. Back then that was something, because each message cost about 25 cents or 35 cents. So if you do the math and you do 3000 text messages per second, mobile text messages, then that is about roughly 750 euros a second on its peak. So that system was very fascinating because to me, I have never heard about OpenVMS before, and that's what I'm trying to share with you today. So OpenVMS, it's a system that was used in the 80s by a company called Digital. I'm not sure who created it, but now the ownership is to a company called VSI, I believe. And what makes this operating system special is it was used by governments, military, financial systems, aerospace, anything that needed really reliable and heavy duty machines for that time that could withstand withstand some problems. And what it made it unique is back then the OpenVMS. VMS stands for Virtual Memory System, and it could make many computers work like one. So they would create a cluster, and this cluster would be aware of the processes running on each node. So if it does load balancing, like okay, if one node is not doing as much as the others, then it would automatically balance the load of the work. And if a machine failed, died, something bad happened to it, then it would transfer the processes that were running there, the programs, and seamlessly to another node, and that node would continue working as if nothing happened. So the end user would not notice that one node has died. And that's what made them very special. I mean, these days, I'm talking about the 80s here. Today, in 2024, we have the cloud, and we have all kinds of virtualization systems that can do roughly the same, but it's not the same. I mean, these were like computers, they can do the same today, but this, I'm talking about the 80s. So in 1980s, to have such a computer system that's so reliable was a very big deal. That's why the military, space agencies, and maybe even nuclear setups used it. And so that's what these things are. These two. This is the main computer that is called. This machine is a VAX 4000-100A. It's called Disney. Funny enough, because this is the main machine, and Disney is connected to all kinds of other machines that, if you see there in the back, I have a stack of computers, and I have some more under the table, and they're everywhere. But this is basically the whole cluster, which makes this even more unique. So how did I get my hands on it? I worked with OpenVMS. I thought it was very special, and I then saw on Marketplace somebody who was selling VAX machines. I didn't work with VAX machines. These are from the 80s. I worked with those from the year 2000 and above. So I got excited and a bit nostalgic, because after working in that sector as a consultant, patching and configuring and troubleshooting these the bigger brothers, the older brothers, the bigger machines, I thought, this is cool. OpenVMS is so rare. Well, these days you can run it on a PC or in a virtualization if you try, because there are a few ports, but still it's not the same as the original thing. These are the original things, so they didn't work. I got them like 3 years ago, and thought to myself, okay, this is a hobby. I'm going to try to set up the whole cluster. And first they didn't work, and I put them into storage for the past 3 years. And now I thought, okay, now let's get them out, and I'm doing some hobbying aside, because I firmly believe that if you have hobbies different than the things you do daily, it will open your mind to possibilities, get you in touch with other people, and basically it broadens your horizon. So that's what hobbies are. They're not just a waste of time. It's something to enrich your life, and enrich they did, because I couldn't make them work. I didn't know how, and I decided to and one of them didn't even start up at all. And I thought to myself, listen, they take a lot of space, so I decided to sell them. I a bit regret that decision today, but anyhow, I started selling it. So I took like the first machine that didn't work, and sold it to a nice guy from the other side of Holland. Not gonna tell you his name, obviously, but the guy came to my shop and to my office, and he was completely happy that he could get his hands on that device. And I mean, they don't weigh much, especially the small ones. This one weighs a lot more, but the other one is like a few kilos. It's not very impressive. And he started telling me about the history of where they will make, and how rare they are today, and how to get them to work. So he told me how to get them to work, because apparently there is a chip inside with a built-in battery, and the battery has a lifespan of 15 years. So this chip with the built-in battery with a lifespan of 15 years is a real-time clock chip that also powers the NVRAM that keeps a few configurations and settings. It's called the DS1287A. So anyhow, he told me that by drilling into the chip in the right place and exposing the internal wires, can you believe it, of the battery and the pins that go into the chip, you can actually replace those chips as batteries with a normal CR. So with a normal CR32 CR2032. Let's see, does it focus? Well, anyhow, so it's a standard readily available battery, and a small socket that you put in them, and then you put them together, solder it onto the drilled chip, and they work. So from there on, I got more excited and spent a lot of hours getting all the machines that I have fixed, and I did. So I fixed all the machines, about like 6 of them, but that's only after I have sold 2. One of them didn't power up, the broken one, and the other one is apparently a very special one with a special graphic card, which I now completely regret, because that one is so rare, nobody has it. But it's okay. I mean, because I sold it and the guy was nice enough to explain the information to me, I was enlightened, and I could get everything to work. And I don't have a whole cluster, and I'm going to stop right now because I have other hobbies. But I wanted to share with you that this special system that is about like 40 years old still works, and it's nice and good. I don't know how to install OpenVMS, and if you would like to help me reinstall it, because I don't have the username, but you know what, I'm going to show you. I'll show you. I'm going to switch to the screen. I'm going to start it up. So I'm going to start the machine up, the bigger one. So and if I'm not sure if you can see, but this is my screen, and it's doing a checkup. It's connected through the COM port, the communication port that is via a USB, and is doing the hardware checkup. It's going to start this machine. It's going to seek to connect to the quorum disk on the Disney big storage unit. Maybe I can zoom in a bit. There. Let's see. Right. So this is the external storage unit, and it's called Disney. Can you see it? Let's see if I can make it bigger. Yeah, Disney. So yeah, this is the machine. Also, the original documentation there, and it's a mess in my office. I know. I'm sorry, but these things take up a lot of space, and but it's worth it because we have a hobby. And I have a new friend of mine that knows how to work with the OpenVMS and install them, and it doesn't really hurt to mention his name. Well, not his first name. Nobody knows anything about the first name. Let's see. If I would go to and search. I believe he's so this friend of mine is called Alexander, and he's the one that bought it. And Alexander, I would like to thank you in person some other day. Maybe give you one of the pieces of the equipment because you would appreciate them more than I do. So yeah, we'll do that. For now, everybody, let's see what happens here. We have to fill in the date. Right, so it's starting the cluster. So this is the main node. This is the master node that runs the whole cluster. And yeah, it's starting. Yeah, and I have it to my position. Now, I really don't know what to do with it. And to be honest, I'm going to also do something else. I'm going to pick up another hobby because I also do gardening and get to know a lot of nice people through that way as well. So if you're really interested, drop me a message, and maybe we can do something with this equipment together. So please pick up a private message and send it to me, and maybe I live in the Netherlands. Maybe we can meet and play with these equipment together. Maybe install them. For now, thank you very much for watching, and don't be shy. Bye bye.